Hello people and welcome back to Tom's TC in my humble garage of motorcycles. Today we're going to look at this, the CHIGEE TR100 100 watt two-way charger. Now what this means is not only can it charge anything, it can also charge your bike as well. But we'll look into that later because it's quite a nifty little gadget. The TR100 enables you to mount it anywhere on your bike to charge your phone, your laptop, your drones, spare batteries, whatever you want really. And it does that because it has a special adapter on it to enable it to charge up to 100 watt. I like this idea. The Suzuki V-STROM actually has a USB slot on it, but it's a 1.5 amp charger, so it takes forever to charge anything. With this, I'll be able to plug my phone in, charge it within a few minutes, and if need be, if I'm out on the road, I could charge my cameras and I could charge my laptop. And if I run out of battery on the motorcycle, I can chuck in my USB pack, chuck it straight into here, and it will charge the battery on the bike as well. Not completely, just enough to give you time to start the bike up, which is perfect. So let's get this fitted onto the V-STROM. We'll do some testing and see what it's like in the real world.
Tom's TC.
Okay, before we begin, let's have a good look at what's in the box of the TR100 USB 100 watt charger, which is a two-way charger. Okay, so we've got a nice little box inside the box. First of all, as we open that up, you can see the USB unit itself. It's quite small really. So here's the charger, nice little unit, nicely well made, metal casing on it, feels solid, doesn't feel like it's going to break. Here's the adapter, and here's the connectors to the battery, or the battery terminal connectors. You also get these cool little Velcro straps, a mounting plate, and 3M sticky back plastic stuff. This is the mounting plate. It's a solid metal unit, feels solid enough. And then you get these Velcro straps for cable tidies and 2 adhesive pads to mount the unit on your bike. And if you find a flat space which isn't in the way, works a treat. Mounting accessories on the V-STROM is actually really easy. All you need to do is remove the seats, and then you can remove this panel that goes across the top of the tank, and that gives you easy access to run cables down over the tank to the battery. Okay, so I think this is going to be the best. I know it goes over the top of the brake master cylinder, but there's nowhere else. There is nowhere else for this thing to go at the moment. I might get a different bracket for it, but for now this will do. Run the cables down there, through under the top yoke, under here, which I think is the best route for it. Nice and simple, down through here, and then it's just a case of connecting it up to the battery. Okay, so I'm going to stick the power supply here, the adapter, the converter. It says you need to keep it away from heat sources. I'm guessing it also needs to be able to breathe, so I'm going to need to keep an eye on that. If it gets too hot, I'm going to have to move it further up. Got lots of cables hanging off. Now, what I would have done, usually with something like this, is connect it to the Thunderbox, but we need the power straight from the battery for it to work properly. It would work from the Thunderbox, but the engine would have to be running, and also it would mean that you wouldn't be able to charge it from the unit. There we go. Okay, that is now connected up to the battery. There we go. We have the green light on the CHIGEE unit. Excellent. So that will turn off eventually once it realizes there's no ignition, or once it realizes the engine's not running, but we'll go into that later. Okay, so I was just putting the bike back together, and I realised I can't mount the adapter here because that's actually where the seat mounts. So I've actually mounted it under there with a cable tie and a bit of adhesive just to keep it there, and it's really airy under there as well, so it should be fine. So let's get the rest of the bike back together and then we can get some testing done. So now we have everything mounted up to the battery. I'm going to mount this and then I'm going to do some cable tidying down here. I'm thinking just there. And then we mount this side to the bottom of the unit. Get it nice and central. And then pull this part off. And we just stick that up on the mount. So it's nice and straight. Let's come around the front. Now obviously you'd normally mount it across that way, but the limitations that I've got with the V-STROM's handguard and everything in the way, it's going to be mounted as best I can right in the middle. That's pretty solid. You can see that's moving the mount and the handlebars around. So we get these cables nice and tidy. Okay, so I think that actually that's going to be enough cables to enough to keep it tidy, and it allows the handlebars to move backwards and forwards. Okay, so that is the actual mounting finished of the Max or the TR100. So that's good. It's all sorted. So now we just got to test it. So now everything's mounted, we can charge devices from it. Now, CHIGEE actually supply you with 100-watt charging cables. So these are what you need to actually fast charge your device. You've got two USB ports on the TR100. So you have USB-C at the bottom and USB-A at the top. So for this particular test, I'm just going to use the cable that's come with it. Plug that in there. I'm going to grab my phone and we're going to give it a charge. So there you go, super fast charging, and that said 41 minutes until full. So that's basically the same as charging it, and you can see here flashing orange light. So that's basically the same as charging it from your home supercharger as well. So that's great. That's perfect. So I can just mount my phone onto my mount and away I go. Now, because the bike is actually turned off at the moment, the charger has stopped charging because it realised the ignition is not on. But I can actually tell it to carry on manually if I want to. So what this also allows you to do, this device, is actually charge the battery on your bike. And the way you do that is with the bike off, you turn the unit on, and you press it again until the light shows blue. Now, if it's a blue light, that means it's a lead acid battery. On the V-STROM, the battery is lead acid, so that is what we use to charge it. Press and hold it again. When it's a purple light, which it is, it's an AGM battery. Press it again. And then it moves on to lithium ion battery. So what we want today is the blue light. So then we take our external pack like this, and we plug it into the USB-C port on the bottom. Like so. And the light will slowly glow on and off, and that means it's charging, and you can see it's taking a charge from here. So that is excellent if you're stuck and you need to charge your battery. If you've got a little battery pack with you, all you've got to do is chuck it in there and away you go. So that is the second part of why this device is good for this sort of thing. Now once the battery's charged, it will then go solid. Now obviously the battery is showing as glowing because obviously the battery's always going to need a charge, but it's, you know, if it's completely dead, this is what you do. So yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so that's the CHIGEE TR100 installed on the V-STROM, ready to roll. And as you can see, this is a great unit. I think this is a really good idea and a great addition to any motorcycle. Not only does it charge your phone, your laptop, anything really, quickly as well, but it also doubles up as a trickle charger, and you can charge it from a battery pack like we saw today. So if you're out and about and you happen to be a bit low on the old battery, stick your battery pack in, give it a little charge, and it'll probably start up. So I think that's amazing actually. I think this is a pretty good value for money unit. If you fancy one of these units, do use the code THETOMSTC at the CHIGEE site at checkout and you'll get 20% off, and that makes it even better value. If this is your first time watching Tom's TC, please give a comment below, subscribe, give me a thumbs up. We don't just do the V-STROM and we don't just do things like that, we do other motorbike stuff like riding motorcycles, reviews, all sorts. I've also got a Yamaha MT-01, my wife has an MT-07, we do ride out vlogs and things like that. Anyway, again, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time on Tom's TC.